Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. So, first of all, tonight, I just want to thank you all so much for watching. I see like three people watching right now, and that's perfectly fine. That's more than enough to get started talking about this particular case. So, let me know in the comments if you've heard about this, because I just found out about it about a week ago, but this happened back in April. 19-year-old Derontae Martin from Park Hills, Missouri, according to authorities, he committed suicide at a graduation party that he happened to attend on April 24th of this year. Let me know if you've heard of this story. Like I said, I have not heard of it, but apparently Derontae decided that he was going to go to this graduation party, not for his graduating class, but just because he knew people at the, oh, you're his mother? Thank you all so much for watching. This story really kind of touched my heart because I just don't believe it. I mean, to me, it makes no sense. There's no way that, based on what I have seen, that he could have committed suicide. I mean, he literally, according to reports that I've read, had a cast on his right arm. If that's accurate, how in the world could he have committed suicide? So yes, Erica is saying that he did have a cast on his right arm and he is right-handed. So that sharing is the least I can do. I'm actually on the verge of tears right now because I just can't imagine. As a mom, I'm a mom of 3. I have an older daughter who's 20 years old, and I absolutely cannot imagine experiencing anything like this. And my heart just truly breaks for you and your family. For those of you who are on here and don't know the story or who may watch it later, according to news reports, and Erica, please step in and let me know if I have anything incorrect, or if you want to share any additional information that you feel like is important for people to, realize that this was not a suicide. This wasn't an accident, and authorities need to take a closer look at this person's home and his behaviors. So apparently Derontae Martin, like I said, 19 years old, from Park Hills, Missouri, decided to go to a graduation party on April 24th. And unfortunately, he was not seen again until the police were called, or the paramedics were called, around 3:00 in the morning to go to this gentleman's home where the party was being held. Apparently, he's a Caucasian guy who lives in the Fredericktown area of Missouri. And according to news articles, he's known to have, postings that are racially motivated. And, so that is causing suspicion about the events that took place that night. Derontae was found in this home in their attic. And
I've always been a cat.
One second, guys.
I'm here to tell you that nothing makes the litter box less of a chore than Pretty Litter. Its lightweight, absorbent crystals trap moisture and eliminate odor, and it changes color to indicate potential health issues.
So, like I said, he was found in their home, in their attic. Now, from what I understand, Derontae's a big boy. He's over 6 feet tall, over 200 pounds. And my first thought was, how in the world did he get in their attic and they didn't know about it? That to me sounds, right there, I feel like police are covering up something. Erica says she saw him. Hang on one second. Erica, you saw him a day before his funeral for the first time after the 23rd. Wow. So they wouldn't allow you to see him. I just really feel like there's some shady stuff going on, as do the family, obviously, and rightfully so. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. How did he know where the addict was? Is this a home that, are these his friends? Did he know these people? Did he know the people that lived in the house, maybe the kids or the of the homeowner? Had he been to that home before? These are all the questions that I had. It just doesn't make any sense to me. There's no way that he would even know so he didn't know these kids. He didn't know the kids or the family. And he had not been to this home before. That's what I believe she's saying. So to me, that is even more reason for the authorities to be looking into this situation much more deeply than what it seems like they're doing, to have this young man, as big as he is, he's the size of a grown man, to make his way into these people's attic and then to supposedly shoot himself with his dominant hand, which is in a cast. That doesn't make sense. And I definitely don't think that he would be able to do this with his left hand. So someone who knew him, someone that he knew, took him to this party. So there are definitely, it sounds like there's several people that should be speaking up and coming forward to talk about this. I don't understand why exactly 6'3", 250 pounds. It's not possible that he would get into their attic and they not know it. It's not possible that he would shoot himself in their attic and they not know it until 3:00 in the morning. And what prompted them to go into the attic if they didn't know he was up there? None of that makes any sense. Erica, if you can tell us what, I don't want you to divulge anything that could compromise whatever investigation they're doing, but please feel free to type in the chat and share any and everything that you want people to know so that they can, speak up. Hopefully somebody in Missouri will speak up. So he had just had surgery on April 22nd, which would be 2 days before he went to this party. And he had a broken right hand with pins in it. If you're just coming in, I see that we have a few more people watching. I believe I have Derontae's mom in the chat. She's commenting and sharing information on what happened to 19-year-old Derontae Martin from Park Hills, Missouri on April 24th while he was at a party in Fredericktown, Missouri. According to reports, he was at a party. The homeowner where the party was being held is a known racist in the community. Allegedly, this is what's being shared, is that he's a known racist in the community. He has, several derogatory and racist posts on social media, on his social media accounts. And he didn't own a gun. Exactly. So, all of this doesn't make any sense. Sherry Dorsey says he loved life too much. And I believe that just from the pictures that I saw online. He seemed like a big teddy bear, to be honest. He was smiling, especially the picture of him playing the Easter Bunny. My heart breaks every time I just, and this is the picture that, look at his smile. He looked happy, so I don't even want to entertain the nonsense that, they're trying to suggest that he committed suicide in a random home, somewhere where he had no connection, didn't know these people, that just doesn't make any sense to me. And What happened to the person who took him to the party? Does anybody know? Has that person said anything about how he was, acting that night? Was he happy? Did he have get into any sort of altercation with anyone? Was that person Black or of another ethnicity? Was he white? The person who he went to the party with? I'm interested to know that. That was Easter at church at the youth ministry. Exactly. So clearly he was full of life, and he was not in a sad place. He was actually getting ready to graduate or he had already graduated and was getting ready to go off to college. He was just trying to wrap up some credits from what I understand. So the boy that took him to the party disappeared, and he brought Derontae Martin's phone back to you erased. Wow. And the police still feel like Derontae committed suicide knowing all of this information. I'm speechless. The only thing I can, at this point, the reason for me doing this video is for nothing more than to give this family a voice and a platform to be able to share what happened, and to encourage people to come forward if you know something. This was a party, so there has to be several people who were there that night who could have possibly seen something, something odd or off, or maybe he had some sort of encounter with the homeowner, or someone had to have saw something. And this person who he went to the party with, I hope that something would kind of motivate you or encourage you to speak up and tell what you know, even, whatever it is, no matter how big or small, because I'm sure that any little piece of information can help in this case. So who won't give you any information? The police? Sherry, that is my question. I mean, I'm sure as family, that's the most obvious question there, besides the fact that he's right-handed and his hand was in a cast. The amount of force that it would take to shoot yourself with your left hand, which is not your dominant hand, and to shoot yourself in the head, to me sounds pretty much impossible. I just don't understand how law enforcement there could even think that that's reasonable. Isaiah Welch is saying that Derontae was texting him on April 19th, showing him his room and all his new clothes via Snapchat. So he was happy just 5 days prior to him going to this party. What changed in 5 days? Nothing. I don't believe anything changed at all. I don't believe anything changed at all. I think that there's more to this story that police are either not sharing because they're trying to cover up something. I wonder if there's some sort of connection with this homeowner, with law enforcement, or some other like city officials or authorities or something. To be honest, guys, I tried to find that, like, I know it was a stretch for me to do it, but I was trying to find the house or possibly find the homeowner's name or information. From what I gather, this had to, I think, happened on Highway Z in Fredericktown, and that's like a little stretch of, highway. And I felt like the number of homes in that area was not a lot. And I was trying to find out, what I could, or even find the name of the homeowner. But I wasn't able to do that. Erica, or any of you that are in the chat, if you know the name and you don't feel comfortable saying it in the chat, that's perfectly fine. But if you email me, I would definitely appreciate that, because I would like to know so I can do some more digging to see what I can find out about this person. But Markina Fowler says his name is James Wade. That's a good question. Where is this gun now? So his name is James Wade. I do feel like I saw that name when I was searching for the addresses on Highway Z. So I'll take a look again. I want to play this James Wade Highway Z. Okay. Okay. Hang on a second. I want to play this clip of the news article that I saw. To just really give some insight to, I think this is going to give some insight to, hold on.
Walter Knoll,
Missouri, where investigators initially thought Derontae Martin took his own life. The 19-year-old's family says, though, it does not add up. And now there's new information that supports their claim.
Tonight, the man who called 911 and an expert who believes Derontae was shot from a distance are talking only to the I-Team's Christine Myers.
He had the biggest, brightest smile, you know, just a smile that would just warm you up.
Memories of her grandson quickly bring tears.
It hurts my heart to know that somebody hurt my grandson. And possibly because of the color of his skin.
Investigators say Kimberly Robinson's grandson, Derontae Martin, died by suicide. She's not so sure. Derontae was found dead in this Fredericktown home last month. In the weeks that followed, social media swirled with theories and accusations that the homeowner, James Wade, had something to do with it or knew more than he was letting on.
I know I didn't do it. And I tried to help him, but nobody's talking about that. You know, they're just making up all this other stuff. I mean, they got me being everything from a racist serial killer to a big-time meth dealer. And, you know, I'm neither.
Wade said he got home from a day of fishing about 30 minutes before he heard the shot.
I was downstairs and you know, he shot himself. And I called 911 to try to help him.
Madison County 911.
Yes, I need to apparently a guy just shot himself.
Initially, this was an open and closed case. 4 days after Derontae's death, the Madison County, Missouri Sheriff's Department announced preliminary evidence revealed the male subject died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Weeks later, the I-Team asked for an update on the case from Sheriff Katie McCutcheon. In a statement she wrote, the investigation is still ongoing.
Do you believe this was a self-inflicted gunshot wound? There are no findings on my examination of a contact gunshot wound.
Derontae's family hired forensic pathologist Dr. Jane Turner to perform a second autopsy. After years with the St. Louis Medical Examiner's Office, she's now in private practice.
The contact gunshot wound, you'll see an outline of the muzzle of the gun, an imprint of the muzzle of the gun on the skin. I didn't see those. The end of the gun would have been 2 or 3 feet or more away. This entrance wound is what would be called in forensic pathology as a distant entrance wound.
It's the only answers Derontae's mother has been given since his death.
I can't stop crying, so I try not to cry. So, and then like I tell myself, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
If this was you and this was your kid,
Then we wouldn't be having this discussion because it wouldn't be a race thing.
can you understand the family's position in this?
I can understand how they feel. I'd be angry too if I was hearing 25 stories. I'm just not involved in that. I wish the cops would hurry up and make that clear to people.
And as they lay Derontae to rest, his family and friends had so many questions and so few answers.
The true meaning of a friend, he was that to many. Somebody was not a friend to him.
We tried to speak with the teenagers who were there the night Derontae died. So far, none of them have gotten back to us.
To learn more about Dr. Turner's autopsy findings, visit this story at kstk.com. For the I-Team, Christine Byers, 5 on your side.
Okay, guys, so after listening to that, what do you all think? Hang on a minute.
Y'all, favorite son is home from college.
I mean, what do you all think about that? Kimberly Lott, Derontae's grandmother, saying that this is murder. It's not about race. It's about murder. My thing is, this homeowner, so now I have more questions. Why won't anyone speak up? If this was just, he could be lying. If these kids, if he accidentally or intentionally tried to kill himself or killed himself in their attic, why isn't anyone speaking up? What other information? This homeowner would have more information. How did he just so happen to come home and hear this gunshot? Alma says she thinks he was killed. I agree too. I think that the homeowner knows more than what he's saying. James Wade knows more than what he's saying. I just find it odd that he just so happened to come home and hears this gunshot. I think the kids that were at the party knows more. Who the person in the background who's crying, saying they hate this, I wonder who she is and what she's talking about. And no, there's still no arrests. Marquina's saying that Derontae isn't the only person to die at this home. Now, I did see something like that, but I didn't see like when did it happen, who it was, what were the circumstances around it. So if you know anything, let me know, and I can look into that too, even if you have just a name of that person. Good question. Why would he kill himself at a party? Somewhere where it's unfamiliar, somewhere where he doesn't know these people. He didn't know those people. There was no connection there. Exactly. That is the other. Yes. So 2:30 in the morning, you're fishing while there's a party going. Who hosted the party? Did he allow these people? Who was in charge of having the party there? There's so many questions that are not being answered. And we're just, concerned people looking in from the outside. But as a family, I can't imagine how you all are feeling when there's so much information that is missing. There's so many pieces missing to this puzzle. So Nick Lowery is the other person that was killed at this home or shot at this home. They're claiming that he shot himself in the head, but was found rolled up in a carpet. Carrie Wade is the big sister. Is that who was in the background saying she hated this? 2014, Nick Lowery. Even that alone, what are the odds that you would have two people that kill themselves in the same home while with the same homeowner being there or being near or aware? That's a good point, Shanta. Madison County, I do feel like maybe another authority should get involved, like the FBI. I wonder, has the family reached out to the FBI to try to get help, or even the state police? He was the happiest kid I knew. He was full of life, waiting to go to football training camp. Listen to the fake 911 call. The only piece that's missing is the who. When you say fake 911 call, I'm going to listen to the call, but why do you say it's fake? Do you mean just because it's staged? Do you think that the people who called 911 had already had their story put together? So if James wasn't home and they called, the paramedics got there around 3:00 in the morning and he got there at 2:30. I wonder what was the time span between the 911 call and the time that he got home, and who was there while this party was going on. Okay. Staged and emotionless. Okay, I'm going to listen to it. Exactly. That's another good point, Kimberly. If anybody shot themselves in my home, I would be beside myself. And I really can't explain. Even his demeanor in this interview, I feel like he was not as empathetic or, sad as I think he should be. Even when he said he would be, we wouldn't be having this conversation, he would be basically beside himself. But he just doesn't even seem like he's remotely concerned that a family's heart is broken. Like, I don't know, guys. There's so many questions not answered. Who called 911? So James called 911. He just walked in, hears this gunshot and calls 911. Did he know where the gunshot came from? No remorse. So Kimberly, you all think it's not about race. What do you think it is? Do you think something else happened that night that is not being shared? Maybe an altercation, maybe some sort of fight. Did James explain how could Derontae get into their attic? That's true. If someone killed himself at your house, I would be out of control. Whether I knew him or not. And the person who he went to the party with, you haven't heard from him since that day, since he brought back the cell phone erased. Very true. Very true. The truth will come out. And yes, I understand you can't make any assumptions. The autopsy that was done by the families, the person that the family hired, I think that's telling that she says that the evidence of a self-inflicted wound is not there. What does the police have to say for that? If he cleaned up before the police got there, he should be arrested for tampering with the crime scene. Or the scene, period. Why would he doesn't even know at this point, if he wasn't there and didn't see this alleged shooting by Derontae, he didn't know it was a suicide, so why would he clean up anything? If anything, he should have left everything the way it was so that police could take a look and see what was going on, because he had no clue of what happened. The only thing I can say is that Derontae was murdered. So someone believes that he was put in the attic after he was murdered. Alma says he was put in the attic after he was murdered. These are all, we're all speculating, and that's possible. Although it would take more than one person to do that, being that Derontae was a big boy. So that lets me know that if that is what happened, there's definitely people who know what happened that night. And I just pray and encourage them to speak up. If they had nothing to do with it, they shouldn't be ashamed of speaking up. Even, the most simplest or innocent thing that could have occurred that you feel like maybe nothing or not worth sharing. If you weren't there and didn't see it, but you saw something earlier on in the night, or you have any information that you can share, I just encourage someone to please go to the Missouri Police Department, or even go to the state police, reach out to the FBI if you have information you feel like is, important enough that needs to be shared, and you don't feel like you can trust the Missouri or Madison County Police. I believe that's who's handling it. Erica says that she was told the party was held in the shed. So how did he make it in the house if the party was in the shed? And he didn't know the people. He didn't know the homeowner. What prompted him to go into the house? So, yes, he should have been. However, when the police and sheriff is family and friends, okay. Small towns like this, I'm sure there's some connections somewhere in there. And if that's true, that's even more of a reason why a third party, an outside agency, needs to get involved, like the FBI or the state police. Someone who is not biased and doesn't have any connections to this town, especially since it's such a small town. When James Wade was asked to do CPR, he completely ignored the officer on the phone. Wow. I really want to know the difference in time between when James got there and found all of this and when the police were actually called, when 911 was actually called. Erica says she believes that he was shot and taken to the attic, and that this happened on the 24th sometime and not reported until after midnight.
WKF.com.
Sorry about that, guys. So, I wonder. So on the 911 call, you can hear Derontae gasping for air. I know someone said they were going to send me the call. Please send it. I would, like to hear it. He told him that he was unconscious, but he was gasping for air. No way possible. I think everybody at the party definitely needs to be questioned. There should be nonstop interviews over the course of the month from April 24th to now. We're just a month later. Everyone that was at that party should have been interviewed. There should have been a list of people who attended, and the police should have been or should be interviewing all of those people. I can only hope that that's what they're doing, because that's what makes the most logical sense. I don't care if, they don't know who all was invited or who was there. Once you start talking to one or two people, they're going to tell you somebody was there or this person was there. And I really hope that they're doing their job and, interviewing these people to find out what happened. If James is involved or if one of his family members are involved, someone at that party knows. Does James have, how many children does he have? I heard someone say he has an older daughter. Okay, I'll check YouTube. So these details, where's the girl who said James was going to handle Derontae for being disrespectful to another girl? What is that about? What happened? Thanks, Isaiah. I will. I'll search on YouTube. 3. So he has 3 kids. So on the 20th, he never called on the 24th for the money I was to send him. Okay, so a preacher woke up at 2 a.m. from a gunshot, and he lives near James Wade. So that's an hour, according to what I read, that this was around 3 o'clock that the paramedics were called and arrived at the home, right? So that's an hour difference. So, and James claims he didn't get home, or he got home around 2:30. You guys, I'm gonna have to really start digging into the timeline on this, because clearly something doesn't make sense. I'm no investigator, but I definitely like to dig and dig. Like I said, I was trying to find James's address and information because I didn't, know that he had already been put out there or did an interview, but I will definitely keep up with this. I want to know, there's something wrong with this story, obviously, and there's a lot of information that's missing. And this is an important piece. Who is this girl that said James was going to handle Derontae for being disrespectful? I don't know if anybody put that down in the comments. Okay. He wasn't grasping for air listening to the call. He stated he was, okay. All right. I'm going to listen to the call before I make any more. Yes, he did. He said 2:30, something. Even if he got there at 2:30, I still feel like 30 minutes is still a long time to, for the ambulance and the police and everybody to get there. It's not that far. If I'm not mistaken, the station, does anybody know how far the fire station is from the house? So is this true? I'm not sure, Alma, if you're a family member, but is this true if there's anybody out there? So some boy admitted to giving him the gun? Okay, so it's like a 10-minute drive. That's what I thought when I looked on the map. I didn't think it was that far. It looked like it was just like, you know, sure, it's a rural area, but 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an emergency. It doesn't make sense to me. Even if he got there at 2:30 and heard the shot, I guess as soon as he walked in the house or whatever, that 30 minutes is still too long. Let me, because I'm gonna put in Highway Z. Who's they? They said James gave him the gun. That's what I feel like, Alma. I feel like there's so many different, I don't know if they're lies. I just feel like there's so many different things being put out there. And I'm I want to know, I'm going to dig and just try to piece some stuff together to see what actually truly happened. I mean, Isaiah says, so if he was really fishing, we would be able to tell if he had left and come back and at what times. That's true if he has cameras around his property, like you believe. Definitely. And police would be able to tell that too. So, and he's saying he wished they would just hurry up and clear his name in that interview. If he's willing to go on camera, and if the police intend on clearing his name, they should. So being that they haven't, I mean, I haven't seen, I guess their way of clearing his name is by saying that this was a suicide, but I just don't believe that. And then the information. So the Cherokee Pass Fire Department, yes, is literally about 10 miles. So the 30 minute, hang on, let's see. Actually, it's 2.5 miles from kind of like the Highway Z area. And if you take it, I mean, even if you were to go all the way down, it would probably be like another, I don't know, 5 minutes, maybe another 2 miles. So yes, 10 miles max is all it should have taken that fire department to get to James's house. And yes, if they have, in big cities, you would think that's a no-brainer for law enforcement to check cameras and question, hey, James, who did you go fishing with? Did you go fishing by yourself? Oh, did you pick up anything while you went fishing? Did you stop at a store? You would think. I hope they're doing some of those same things. Where did he go fishing at 2 o'clock in the morning? I've heard of people going fishing late at night, early in the morning to, fish or sleeping or awake or whatever, because it's quiet. But where was he? Where did he go? So Alma, you're saying someone said Derontae was afraid and paranoid. Is that just rumor or people just talking? What does that even mean? Why would he be? Erica, his ID is missing. My heart is breaking for you and your family. If there is, you guys, I don't know, this is kind of frustrating me. There's really, like I said, I'm going to dig some more I'm going to listen to the 911 call. I'm going to go back and listen to that interview with James and try to do a little digging. If there's any other information that you all have that you would like to share with me, you can definitely send it to my email. You could put it down in the chat. My email is KaseyReneeYT@gmail.com, just like the name of the channel with YT on the end. I am going to definitely do some more digging. I encourage the family to reach out to maybe the FBI. I don't know if it'll help. I don't know who else needs to be involved. I know you all are doing everything that you can. I just encourage anyone who knows anything about this case, anything about Derontae's last few hours on April 24th, to please come forward and share what you know. Who was the kids on the phone calling 911 saying, I think he's dead? I thought the man called the police. That doesn't add up. Official Eddie. Okay. If that's true, no, it doesn't add up. There's a lot of things that have been said tonight that don't really add up. We all can see that. I just really hope that whoever's watching, and if they're not watching, you guys can share this video wherever you want, to any platform you want, to encourage people to start talking about this case, first of all, whether it's race related or just evil, just, nastiness or kid stuff, whatever it is. This Derontae lost his life on April 24th. His life was just getting started. 19 years old. I have a 20-year-old. Their lives, they haven't even truly begun at that age. And it's heartbreaking to know that he was just getting started and he lost his life over senselessness. And I just encourage anyone to speak up if they saw anything. I think I'm going to end the chat now, or in the live now. I want to do a little bit of digging to see if there's anything else I can find. And again, if you all see or, hear anything out there that you want to share, you can drop it down in the chat. You can come back to this video. I monitor the comments. You can send me an email. I do want to keep talking about this. We got to keep this story out here. The main goal of my channel is to do just that, especially for the Black community. We don't have very many platforms where people are sharing serious stuff that needs attention. Yes, we got reality TV. Yes, we got all of that other stuff, but these are real lives that are being taken and by violence and by, craziness. And we need to start putting our stories out there. And that's what my goal is, you guys. So thank you all so much for watching. And Erica, you are absolutely right. Your son was stolen and you need more information. Whatever needs to be done to put your minds and your hearts at ease as best as possible, given the circumstances of the situation. And I hope that you get that. I hope your family gets that. So thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. This really isn't about subscribers. This is about doing the right thing. It's about putting our stories out there so that we can get the attention that we deserve and so that families can get some sort of peace. Kimberly Lott, Derontae's grandmother, says that it was murder and he didn't deserve it. And that's absolutely 1,000% true. He did not deserve it. And no one is perfect. And that's not even relevant. Whether or not he was perfect or not, he was perfect. He was perfect and he did not deserve to lose his life. He didn't deserve to lose his life. He was perfect. You guys, I'm gonna just turn my camera off, but I'm gonna leave the chat open for a little bit if we all want to keep talking, and that's perfectly fine. His siblings have lost their brother. This is crazy. I'm gonna go back and look up, I want to see if I could see the property where this party was held. I know you all said that there was a shed there, but I want to see kind of like just where everything was to see if I can see anything. I mean, I don't know.